Russell, instrumental music is your passion, but now it's your profession.
Yeah.
When did you first start becoming interested in what you do now?
It goes back a really long way. When I was 13, we had an old piano in the back room. There's some guys at school who were getting into music, had the basic stuff, little keyboards and such, and I think it was a time when I've got 3 older brothers and they're always listening to a ton of music. It was very rich, diverse music. So growing up with all these different influences, some of them are like the mod stuff and the rocks, you know, some heavy metal, and there was a little electronic stuff coming out there through one of my brothers. So I probably went down that route, and then combined with the stuff going on at school and the interest in music from a very young age, and then having the piano at home, it just sort of kicked off straight away, to be honest, very young.
So let's take it from, say, the early 80s, whatever, and were there any particular albums at that time in the 80s where you thought, yeah, I can really relate to that?
There was a big cluster of albums. It was probably all the electronic stuff that was going on that, to me as a child, very much as a child, just seemed completely alien when you've got conventional rock music, pop music, which I still loved. I mean, all the 80s I'm massively passionate about, but the Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, old Tangerine Dream, Klaus Schulze and Kraftwerk and stuff like that, that was the stuff that captures your imagination, I think, more as a child. And I say child, you know, that age you're still a kid, but that's the stuff that really sparked me, because it isn't real and it's creating new worlds that are not conventional. So
I mean, Tangerine Dream go back to the early 70s, isn't it? Yet still very really popular today, aren't
they? Yeah, very much so, yeah. I mean, it's probably not, it's a music that is now sort of thinning out onto the sidelines, and all the hardcore electronic stuff, but yeah, that was where it definitely began.
And we're not here to give a plug to early Dutch pop rock. No. We're here to give a plug to yourself. So what is it I've seen on different websites, whether it's Facebook, on SoundCloud, yeah, different work you have done. So what is your career now, and what are you producing, and what do you hope to achieve?
The career now is quite a young career. It's only been realistically since last April when I really picked up the baton to try and make something of what I do. For 20 years of doing it myself, it's only been barely a year now. But from there, I hooked up with an agency in New York, stroke LA, sort of their base, and they supply music for all the networks for TV. So for the last nearly a year, I've been flat out writing mostly for TV. That's all the stuff that's placed inside the programme for the scenes, maybe some theme tunes, stuff like that. Where I want to go now is, and it looks like it is moving on to that, is music for movie trailers, to promote the promotion spots for movie trailers, for advert, theatrical and likewise. Eventually I'd like to be actually doing film scores and not just promoting someone else's work, obviously, but that's the main aim eventually.
So what's your creative process?
It's probably the hardest question you could ever ask someone, in it.
Or what is a conventional? I mean, some artists do work 9 to 5, but how do you work?
I mean, it definitely isn't 9 to 5. I mean, that you probably know yourself. In it, it's not going to be a 9 to 5 thing. It's whenever you wake up and have an idea, it can go right the way through to the very early hours in the morning before you finally give up and go to sleep. But then you still have an idea. You get a brief usually with the work, and they'll say, "Can you give me tension, but it's with a Latin feel, or it's with this feel, and it might be a cop show dynamic, but you've got to add this into it." And sometimes that's all you get. So you try and feel, how do I do this pacey, nervous, energetic thing, and then you'll get notes and it's not quite right, and it's a constant surge of work and revision and remixing and reworking.
Do you see visually what you're supposed to be composing for? Not
always with the TV work. It's unless you was actually doing a syndicate commissioned project, you know, like you got your CSI in New York and something like that. If you was doing something like that, then yes, you would see the daily cuts every day and be working to the program. But with this sort of placement work, it's just high volume work. There's constantly projects all the time, and you usually, if you're lucky, you'll get what they call like the sample track, a temp track that will show you roughly where you need to be. But you're on your own, you just go for it.
Speaking on your own, wouldn't you like to be in a band as well, or are you just simply working on your own here?
My days of being in a band, I did that from as early as 15, to be honest. I was playing all around London with working bands. We had a couple of those near record contract signings that everyone's got, you know, football nearly got signed for so-and-so United, but it's that kind of thing. played keyboards and bass all around, you know. I did the band thing. I honestly couldn't do it now. And working with anyone else doing this, it's really hard. It's quite possessive because you love what you do, and it's very hard to find someone you can click with to do that. It's very, very difficult. So at the moment, I would never say never, but it does feel like it's something that I'm doing on my own more.
But you're happy doing it?
Yeah, most definitely, yeah.
It's now and now it's full time.
Yeah.
Is this working without a safety net?
It's terrifying. It's really terrifying. Every day you wake up and you just think, what am I going to do today? And I sometimes say to my partner, to Lisa, I say, you know, if it's not in your head, then you're done. You know, you are screwed that day. There's nothing you can do about it. You have to have the ideas all the time. You have to be that quick and energetic to make it happen. There's no, like you said, there's no catch net. If you don't write that day, you're not going to get paid. So, you know, it is very terrifying. And I've worked conventional work for 20 years, so this is really, really scary stuff.
Here we are in Thurrock, you're in the heart of Grays. Do you find it's quite, I don't know if you ever go out and look at places, but some people often see that Thurrock is quite influential. A lot of the scenes are sort of sometimes urban decay, but also it's in, you know, the River, and sometimes you get, you know, like Procter and Gamble next to Graffiti Bridge. It's quite inspirational. So, yeah. It seems to be. It seems also to have been picked up on with film productions. I mean, we've had a lot of films in Thurrock. Obviously, you had the Batman, the original Christian Bale Batman film, Batman Begins. That was at the Fort. Roger Rabbit at the Thames side. 28 Days Later, when they used to be on the old A13, approaching before the development, they had the scene there. I mean, everyone's always filming, and this is a place of creativity. It most definitely is. I mean, the amount of people that have come out of Thurrock, who have come from bands, who are singers, have come, you know, there's so many names that come from Thurrock, so many. So if we come back in a year or 2 years' time, what are you hoping for? I would like to say, even though it sounds like I'm deserting the ship, it's not quite like that. I mean, I would like to say that I could get some work that takes me to LA, where, to be honest, it is the industry hive of everything, of where the big work is, and where you can make a big, you know, a big name for yourself within this work. It's like the capital for media music. I would like to say I'm there. Not to say I would like to desert Thurrock, but career-wise, I would like to go down that road. I'll speak to my accountant, Russell, maybe in a year's time. We'll come out and see you. Most certainly, yeah, you're more than welcome. Thank you very much.